Hello, Africa, and the lovely people of Africa. This is the People's Talk Show. The People's Talk Show is a part and parcel of the People's News Africa, a platform that seeks to present Africa's pride, history, culture, and heritage. And today we are glad that we have been able to come your way again to discuss another very important topic that we think cut across the interests of every Africans, both home and abroad. Today we will have the opportunity to look at the role of religion in Africa as to whether it is something that is contributing to Africa's development problems. But importantly, we would like to flag out very quickly in this very brief introduction that given the highly sensitive nature of this particular topic that we have on hand, we hope that you will not hold anyone responsible for their opinion and what they do think about how they feel about religion, because the issue of religion is something of personal conviction, right? So everyone here today in studio will be discussing basically how they think and what they feel about religion, and their view should not be held against them, but rather it should be something that you can appreciate. If there is a lesson that you can learn from their understanding of religion or their knowledge of what they think religion is and should be, then it's something that you should appreciate. Otherwise, if there is nothing that you feel can be gathered from what they have to say, please do not judge them for what they think and what they feel about religion. It's absolutely their opinion and how they think about today's discussion. So once again, we want to welcome every one of you, and we want to say thank you so much that you have taken the time to join us to look into this very important topic. And today, I will be speaking to you with my distinguished colleagues, Kwadwo Eje Yeboah from Ghana and is based in Germany, and Dean Tweet from South Africa, Isopan from Nigeria and is also based in Germany, Kabbalah from DR Congo but is based in South Africa, and Dr. Joseph Sadiq from Nigeria and is also based in the US. My name is D. Kafina Seinentu and I'm speaking to you from Liberia. So religion, as I started talking from the onset, is of integral importance to every society. It concerns the deepest root of human existence and the interest or integrates human's life into a coherent whole. Okay, but in Africa, religion constitutes a fundamental part of our lives. And as such, almost all political and economic activities are often flavored with religious expressions and rituals. Okay. But on the other hand, while Africa remains determined at our religious pursuit as practiced in many forms and manners, we are all confronted with many questions about the role of religion in the structural development of Africa. Okay. But some of the questions that we have to resonate with today, and that I will begin asking Dean Tweed from South Africa, will be first and foremost, religion is such a contested and highly sensitive, if not a problematic issue that confronts everyone across the globe, not just Africa as a continent, but around the world. Why is religion an integral part of our lives, and why must we pay so much attention or pursue it? Dean Tweed, if you will, please take the next 5 minutes in your introductory question. Statement to be able to address this question as well. You're most welcome, Abela.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Kafina. Yes, I think you made a very clear introduction that religion is a very sensitive topic. I agree because most people use religion as their walking stick. And if you take somebody's walking stick, they're gonna fall or they're gonna feel miserable. So we need to really tread carefully. I agree because it's something that most of us we have been taught since we were born. We have been raised inside a church. We have been made to believe religion gods of beyond one's see if there are advantages or disadvantages to it to our continent development. So with that said, I'd like to say any system or ideology that seeks to migrate you from your original self, it is harmful to you. You need to ask yourself, why do I need to abandon my current way of life, migrate to the new way of life? Any system that demonizes your culture or my lifestyle, my way of living is bad to me. Any system that wants to keep me in fear is bad for me. Any system that wants to introduce a new belief to me is not good to me. Any system that limits the existence or my people's existence to 2000 years only, it is not good to me. Tells a not complete story. So we need to ask ourselves, is religion really doing good to our people? For instance, let's take the time of slavery. Did religion do anything to alleviate the pain and the suffering? We know the likes of King Leopold wiped out 15 million people. Where was religion in that time? Couldn't the divinity intervene and help the people? Children were snatched from their parents. Women were raped. People were cut off limbs. People were used as guinea pigs for medical experience. Where was religion at that time? Even today, we still live in dire poverty. Africa has most churches. We are the most praying people, but the result tells a different story. We are the one poorer than the non-praying countries or region of the world. I would also like to ask this question. If religion was indeed divine, don't you think we would born knowing it, not for it to be taught to us? But they are born with the knowledge of latching on their mother's breast to extract milk. That's a divine knowledge. Nobody teaches a child to extract milk from the mother's breast. But religion, we have to be taken to Sunday school. It has to be. I believe something is so divine as religion it is. By default, our setting should be set to religion. We are taught it like we learn mathematics, we learn physics. So it is simply somebody's ideology. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dean Tweed, for your very insightful contribution. You started by looking at some of the harmful practices, demonization of Africa culture, spirituality, and if relation is necessary for Africa, and also the role of relation in the prevention of colonization and slavery in Africa. Thank you so much, my brother, for this very meaningful contribution. That brings me to the next question that I would like to ask Kwadwo in summation to Dean Tweed's statement. Is the issue of religion alien or indigenous to the African people, Kwajo?
Your question, Kafina, you said, is religion alien or something indigenous to Africa? I have said it time without limit that religion is alien to Africa, and Africa has never in our lifetime be able to have religion. We have never had religion, and religion, as I have said, is a very business tool that is used in our African to exploit our continent. And nobody on our continent can have religion and be able to have his African identity or to be able to retain his culture, because what the people who use religion as a tool did was that they first classified the African culture and tradition as religion, and then they introduce another form of religion. So if my culture, my spirituality, and whatever I do as an African is a religion, and you have also presented to me another form of religion, how could I take the two? This is one of the reasons why you cannot have religion, you cannot be part of these religions, being a Christian or a Muslim and still be an African or still have your African identity. You cannot have the two, because your colonizers, the people who introduced the religion, indicated that our culture, our tradition, our spirituality are also religion. So you cannot have their religion and have ours. You automatically have to abandon what you have as an African in order to give what you have, what they have given you. But I ask myself, why should religion be such a sensitive issue to talk about? Why is it something that we cannot freely discuss it? Why should we say we are blaspheming? If there is someone we are speaking against, a powerful God we have to speak against, why wouldn't that God defend himself, but we have to have laws to defend that God? Why should religion have to be so protective? It is so because religion contains lie. A lie is always or must always be protected in order that it never come in contact with the truth. Anytime a lie come in contact with the truth, it gets exposed. So for religion to be able to contain and continue its lies and exploitation, it needs to be protected, which is why all of us, me, I am part. My parents taught me not to ask questions about religion, because when I ask questions, I will automatically start to find the truth. And for that matter, we are taught to believe those things. They say we are carnal minds, we cannot. But the same so-called God is the one who created this brain. And if we cannot use this brain to assess and understand, to make meaning of what he teaches us, then it means there's something wrong. The engineer didn't do something right. So I think that religion, being it a Christian or Islam, Muslim, it is alien to Africa, and African traditions and culture and traditions are not religions. If you take up these Western and Arabic religions, you cannot take up your African culture and identity. You need to abandon it. Which is why most of our names, the level, how we marry, how we do everything need to be changed. So we need to go back and look into this very deeply. I think as we proceed, I will be able to put up my points much more clearer for people to understand where I'm coming from. Thank you very much, Zanato.
Thank you so much, Kwajo. Because before I go over to the next panelist, I would like to make a follow-up. You stressed a very critical point, and you raised an allegation that religion constitutes a body of laws for which it has to be protected by some fundamental laws. I want you to make some clarification and perhaps give some example when you talk about laws as contained in some fundamental religious books. What are you talking about?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to clarify this. Now, for example, religion says that it has a man in the sky who is all powerful, all knowing, and all important. And this man created everyone and everything, including you and I. And religion taught us that every aspect, everything that is in existence, which is creation, need a creator. Immediately you ask yourself that if there is a creator, and that creator therefore is in existence, and that creator need to have a creator for that creator to be in existence. They said you cannot understand God because God has always been there. They said in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. I asked myself, was God a homeless man before he created heaven? Nobody want to answer. So God, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. It is in your Bible. And I asked, where was God living before he created heaven? Because was he a homeless? You don't want to answer. Why can't we ask these questions? If we don't ask these questions, how do we find answers to them? So religion is a lie. That is why certain things we cannot ask. You see, today, the black people are waking up. So they said they want to create a black Jesus. If you like use charcoal, that is a lie. Everything in religion is a lie. From A to Z are lies. I'm telling you.
Thank you so much, Kwadwo. He started by talking about Africa never had any relation, a crossing over to religions being a capitalist tool that is meant to exploit people in Africa or across our global society, and also talking about how religion has been used to abandon the African culture and spirituality and things like that. And also making reference to religion being an alien to the African continent. Thank you so much, my brother. I would like to go over quickly to Kabbalah. Kabbalah, religious resources such as ideas and practices, organizations or institutions, and experiences are central to the basic tenets of our society. Okay, and religion, especially Western kinds of religion like Christianity, as it is now practiced by about 90% of the African population, deserves some serious level of consideration whenever we want to analyze its impact in Africa. Okay. How would you say religion has influenced the constellation of the African society over the period of the years?
Well, thank you so much, Kafina, for the question. It's a pleasure to be on this platform again. I will speak, in terms of mainly how can religion be used in Africa in this time period. But first of all, let me try to define what is religion based on the explanation given by Mr. Juna Fuller Jr. Yeah, that's his name. In his book, he said religion, it's any strong belief that is backed up by actions. Means anything that you believe strongly and you do some actions to back up that belief, it becomes your religion. So that being said, every people who claim any kind of religion, they always claim it in name of God. I mean, they would say that they have received that religion from God. So that being said, there is something that we have to understand in terms of social sciences and social realities. Everything in terms of inspiration, whether spiritual or scientific, that people receive, they will express it in terms or in context of their culture and traditions. Means if people receive an inspiration, for example, from God, they will express or translate that inspiration within the form or in the picture of their own culture and traditions. So when you receive a religion from a particular religion from people, you must be able to separate what is religious belief or behavior and what is spirituality. So if we receive any religion from people without making an accurate separation of what is culture of those people and what is a spiritual element in that religion, we will definitely gonna embrace everything from those people, including their culture. And when we take people's culture, we automatically suppress our own culture. As Kwadwo said, you destroy your culture, adopt culture of other people. In that saying, I'm trying to make a difference between spirituality and religion. That being said, I want to emphasize that the same thing that Arabs did to Islam is the same thing that Europeans did also to Christianity. What they did was to remove the spiritual element that was the basis of that religion and make it a tool for their political opportunistic agenda in order to oppress Africa and exploit African resources. That is what they have said that they've done, and that has definitely succeeded correctly. And today, religion has proven to be a powerful tool that has been used to conquer the minds of people. So the question is, what are we supposed to do with religion today? Because criticizing religion, it's really almost nothing. It's almost useless because it's not going to change the reality of today of destruction that we are facing today as a result of the way that religion was used in Africa. And for instance, even if we have to go back to our ancestors' religion, we have to understand something. If European and the Arab religions have conquered us, they've conquered as well our ancestors' religion. We have to understand that. Because if our previous religions were powerful, they wouldn't have been conquered by Arabs' religion and white people religion. And definitely, our ancestors' gods were supposed to tell these ancestors that, okay, look, these people who are coming, they are coming with agenda to conquer you. And obviously, our ancestors' God would have protected our ancestors from Europeans and Arab religions. So today, Christianity and Islam happen to be powerful weapons that have been used against us. So we have to see on how we can use them against those who use them against us, because it's like a tool. A tool is something that you can use, anybody can use. You just have to learn to know how it has to be used in order to use it to your own advantage. It's like a knife. Anybody who has fought you with a knife, what you have to do, you have to look in a way that you can take that knife and fight back the person who fought you with a knife. Today, the majority of people in Africa are into religions. So what we have to do, we have to use these religious institutions in order to liberate our people from slavery and in order to bring a development in our nations. I'm going to finish with this statistic that was done in USA. For instance, in America, every Sunday, churches collect something like $3 million every Sunday, and this money is being stored. These are black churches, actually, prominently, and this money is being stored or deposited into white-owned banks, and these white-owned banks are using this money to give loan not to black people but to other white people who will come back in the areas where religion or churches are established to buy those lands and to build factories there and to push churches out of those places. You see, what is religion being, how is it being used right now? So what can we do? We have to organize ourselves in order to use it for our own interest. I'll leave it there for other people to comment, and then we maybe get back to that point to develop more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kabbalah, for these very interesting contributions that you have made. Kabbalah started by distinguishing or defining relation and distinguishing between belief system and spirituality, and also relation being used as a tools of exploitation of resources and to conquer people's mind, and also relation as an institution that could liberate and free the people, and free the people, and also we taking the battle into our hands by using relation to forge forth our own interests. Thank you so much. I would like to go quickly to Dr. Siddiq in summation to Kabbalah statement. Can religion be considered as a major contributor to Africa's problem, like greed, corruption, economic and other forms, or other common problems in Africa?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. There is nothing that is a problem to men except anything that is done in excess. I've had, before I do go a little bit deeper, I've had a lot of people talking about these definitions of religion, and I just want us to kind of have a clear understanding of what that religion actually means in the real sense of it. I personally believe, and I've read some website dictionaries and other encyclopedias, and says that a set of belief concerning the cause or the nature or the purpose of the universe, especially when considered as the creations of a superhuman agencies or agencies. Sorry, I'm sorry, very sorry about that. That is my dog there. So there are many definitions of religion, and it's not that easy to pin down exactly what religion is, and then to ensure that the definition distinguish religions from magic or from cult or from sect. Many people, many people rather refer to a religion as what they personally believe in. I want us to have a clear understanding that religions predate before the existence, or I can say even with the existence of man, religions come in. So religion is not going to church, religion is not going to mosque. Our people have their traditional ways of observing their gods before every one of us on this podium are here, which is has been from the existence of man before somebody sold us their own religion. So when you talk about that, the religion itself do have bad effect. The religion doesn't have any effect because the religion has always been there. But the idea is that when we do not really understand what religion is, and when we take religion in a way that it should not be taken, even food that we eat, when we do it the way we shouldn't be eating, God created man and woman. When we left that ratio of man and woman and becoming Mr. and Mr. as husband and wife, we are cross-lining some certain things about life that we all need to kind of have a clear understanding on. Again, religion doesn't have any negative effect, but it is man. How is that religion being practiced? The religions that I do know, our fathers back then with their own traditional ways of religion, I don't think they call people to tell them lies or to collect money or to phony or whatever it is. But the religion of now is what I feel that I want to talk about. What has he done? What has man done to himself? Not what religion has done for us. Because religion is an act which we took and we modified into whatever it is today. Is it true? Is it based on lies? Is it based on truth? Every person on this panel will be able to have a proper way to discuss this intellectually, that we know, and I want us to kind of understand that religion does not just exist on its own. So if it does not exist on its own, what is true religion? And what is the religion we are practicing? Is the religion we are practicing in Africa today, does it aid us? Does it support us economically? Does it support our advancement as a people? Or we are just being preyed upon by some people who believe they know more than some other people? We need to kind of have a balance in this to be able to talk about religion. And that is when everybody here and those are viewers will be able to understand, is this religion we're practicing, is this the way it's supposed to be, or some people are just using it for their own selfish end? And this is the true talk. And this is how people individually, collectively, we will have an understanding in that perceptions or from that context what religion is. Religion has no bad connotation in Africa. It has no bad connotation anywhere. It is the way that is being practiced that is having good or bad connotation, and that is what I'm ready to talk about. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siddiq, for your submission. Religion, as you have rightly talked about, it is something that in itself is not terrible, it's not bad, but the application of the concept, the practices and belief, that's what will harm or is harming our society. So like before, as I asked if religion has contributed or is a major contributor to Africa's problems like we have now. So if you look at the concept and what religion is just all about and the way it proceeds now, for example, Christianity or the Christian before who were considered to be missionaries supported the art of apartheid in South Africa. So what kind of religion or what form of spirituality, right, will support such a barbaric behavior or such a barbaric act that was perpetrated against men or upon men in South Africa? And especially at that particular point in time when the practice itself or when the religious group themselves were the key implementer of the concept or the idea of colonization in Africa. And those are people who make us to believe what is contained in relation. But however, I would like to go quickly to Isopa. Religion in Africa constitute a terrain that overlaps with social, political, and economic fears in Africa, and also in the diaspora, for example. And in the same vein, African politicians or Africa political and economic elite have used or has often resorted to religion in their quest for competition or for diminishing resources or wealth, political power, and prestige. So is religion a kind of political and economic tools designed to dominate and exploit a given nation, as other people started talking about religion being a kind of instrument or a kind of tool? So other than the practice of spirituality, divinity, does that also have some latent function to control men, to dominate men, to exploit people? What will you say about that?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kafina. Oh, God. This is interesting. Like every power, it can be used for good and for evil. Power corrupts. People have seen the power behind religion, and some have used it to help build up others, whilst others have, some have also used it to control others. Religion has always been and still is the most powerful tool on earth, more powerful than money, more powerful than politics. Governments across the globe are built under the banner of religion. If it's the Islamic world, it is built under Islam. No matter how powerful a government might be in a country, it is succumbed to the control of religion. The same way in the Christian faith, America, Europe, Africa, religion is more powerful than politics. And we've seen people taking advantage of this and using it to control the society, to control the government, to control the economy. And this is the problem that we have. Religion is not the problem. The way religion is being manipulated to control our society today is the problem. People are using it to get political power and to acquire wealth for themselves. If you look into a country like Nigeria, two most richest and powerful people are religious leader and government leaders. These are the two most powerful and richest group in Africa or anywhere else in the world, most especially in Africa. And this is a problem that we all face. How can we control this religion that is so powerful, that is controlling our lives? It was used by our colonizer as a tool to brainwash us, to colonize us, and control us. They said they came in peace. They came in the name of religion, but they brought the darkest evil ever known to mankind upon us in the name of religion. They took religion from Africa, redefined it, and sold it back to us, and used it as a weapon to control and own us. And this is the problem that we are facing today. And we've been so blinded that our people have not taken it to another level of money making. If you go to Africa, every corners of Africa continent, there is a church or a mosque. People are not performing miracles left and right. They're using it to manipulate the people. They're using it to control the people. Politicians are bowing down to pastors and imams to help them during election time. Politics is very powerful, and those who have come to realize and understand the power beyond religion are manipulating it and weaponizing it for their own personal gain. And this is something that we all really need to pay extra attention to if we are going to change our lifestyle and change our nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isopan. Let me go quickly to Kwajo. Kwajo, do you have a follow-up to make in addition to Isopan?
Yeah, thank you very much. I have something. I think I recognize something which was common in what Kabbalah said, which Doctor also said, and Isopan also mentioned. All of them talked about religion, which predates which the colonizers brought in the African society. Now, I want to make this clear, and I want us to consider something. I'm going to point out some few things, and let's see whether they they define religion and whether we can find them in Africa. One, did Africa have anything like a superior god which is monopolistic? For example, did any African tradition, our African tradition are normally based on cultural groups. Did any of them had a god which they say that this is the Almighty God, and anybody who can be saved need to worship this God? And you need to convert yourself. For example, if you want to be saved, you need to convert to Christianity according to the Christian doctrine. Did we have anything like that? That let's say, Ashanti will say that if you want to be saved and be able to be saved, you need to convert and worship our God. Let's say whose name is any God. Let's mention like the one, two. Did we had in the African culture and tradition any promise of heaven that if you do good to this God, you are going to heaven? Did we have that? Because you need to have, for a religion to be religion, we need to have a heaven. Three, did we have something that we call hell, a threat of hell, that if you don't obey this God, you are going to be put in hell? Did we have that? Four, did we had missionaries, people who need to convert people, who need to go and say that you have this culture, you have this tradition. People have to come and convert you from one culture to the other, or from one spirituality to the other. Like we have Muslims are running around the world trying to convert people to Islam, into their religion. Did we have people converting people into Christianity? Did we have anything like that? And finally, did we have things that, apart from going to heaven, apart from going to hell, apart from missionaries, apart from a superior God, did these religions that our colonizers brought to us, did those religions permit us to practice our culture and traditions if we accept that? I want to ask people who believe that Africa has a religion to respond to this, whether we have any of this in our African tradition. Doctor, want to say something?
Yeah, let me recognize Doctor and then go over to Isopan. Gentlemen, please take 2 minutes each.
Thank you, Mr. Dutwe. Thank you, the panel of debaters as well. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The discussion today is about religion in Africa. It's not the religion of conversion. It's not the religion of conversion or a covert. We're talking about religion. We're not talking about a superiority of a religion, and we don't talk about the audacity of what any individual or sect have about religion. What impact does religion have in Africa? Number one, when we understand the definition of religion, which is a belief, we're not talking about Christianity, we're not talking about Islam. Before there is Christianity, before there is Islam, for all I do know, and I stand correction, every country has something they believe in, or the people of every tribe have what they believe in. My tribe in Africa, they have what they believe in. My short time I live in South Africa, I've heard about these Shango men and all those kind of stuff, what people believe in. When I live in Liberia, I've heard that. In every part of Africa that I personally have lived, I've heard all those things. So the idea, again, is not about religion itself, because if you live religion, it does not have leg, it does not have hand. It's a mental thing. And the mental thing about if our fathers who have their own local belief through their own God, their own deity that they have, they observe, they believe in. What I heard, what I do know, because I've never been part of any, there is no coercion. Why are we having coercion in the religion that is being practiced in this modern era? That is extremely very important. Converting from one religion to another is part of the external expansion policy. If I'm looking at the Western power, to coerce Africa into what they are not. The day they reintroduce, and Kabbalah says something so important, the day they introduce their religion to us, religion, again, I want us to know that it's traditional thing. They took our tradition away. When you go to a herbalist in Africa, there is none of them that do not mention God. But today, if I sit down and ask us what is God, everybody's going to define it differently. So I don't want us to go into looking at an area that is not going to help us. Let us see what is religion doing to us in Africa? Is it making our progress, or is it short-changing us here? We're not here to talk about whether you believe. If you believe in it, you believe in it because you like it. If you don't believe in it, you don't believe in it because you don't like it. That is out of the scope. Here, what has he done? What progress has religion brought to Africa? Whether it's Islam, or whether it's Christianity, it's Hindu, it's Buddha, or it's even our own traditional ways of life. What has it brought us? How far has it helped us to advance our cause? This is extremely what I think is very, 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 very important here. And I'm here to submit to us that from my own personal observation, religion has been taken out of the context of what religion is. When I was growing up, the way I knew religion is not what I've observed through the lenses of where I've been to that religion is anymore. You find magicians everywhere, in every corner, in every nook, pretending in the name of God. May the soul of my father rest in perfect peace. My father said to me one day, he said, this God is the one you can tell lies on and you still be eating. You tell lies on it, it brings you food. You tell truth about it, it brings you food. Whichever way you spin it, it's going to give you something. Because of what? Because of the mentality of our people. Our people have been subjected to the fact that this is the only way, without this way there is none. And I keep on asking people, I'm not telling you that that is not the way, but I'm asking you for you to obtain knowledge yourself. If you obtain knowledge yourself, nobody is going to come in to bamboozle you into what it is or into what it is not. I was listening to late Muhammad Ali last week. He said he has his mother, that Jesus is white. The angels are white. Everything is white. Everything is white. And when he sees God, when he sees black man, he hears about blackmail. He hears about black wish. He hears about all this. Everything that is black is about is so bad. So everything about black person is so bad. So everything that is good, that is white, is of the white man and is of God. He said that one of those things that doesn't allow him to follow the way of the Western in terms of Christianity, that he followed Islam. So what has this religion brought for us? What has this religion brought to Africa? It has denied us our rights. It has clean washed us of our identity. Not because it's religion, but because the way it is practiced. Because we are so subjected in the scope and in the view within the context of what it is, that we ourselves do not take a step back and ask ourselves that big question. What is religion? Most of us don't know what religion is. Most of us don't know what this faith is. And thank you, Kabbalah, because Kabbalah differentiated it. Kabbalah analyzed it, what religion is, in the full context of what it is. But what part of it are we holding? The spirituality? Listen, I am not biased. I was born in the home of a Christian. Both my parents were. And I was a Christian when I was born. But I asked myself that what is the meaning of Christian? It's not because I read, but because until I asked that question, that what is the meaning of Christian? Has it got to do with my perception, or has it got to do with me following people? At this stage, I don't want to follow nobody. I want to have an understanding, and that is what I'm craving for. That we should try to have an understanding of what religion is, because religion might come into us in a platter of gold that people are expressing it, but how is it practiced today? If this, let me look at Christianity. If these so-called pastors are so powerful enough, they can cure, they can heal, they can do this thing. I've never seen any of them effective during this COVID-19. I have not seen anybody that they pray for and COVID-19 ran away. Pastors, where are you? Now, if the COVID-19 goes away, now somebody's going to come and say, hallelujah. COVID has gone. I saw it. God was telling me. God was telling you what? Think. This is what I'm saying. Think for yourself. And apart from that, let us discuss what damage or what good has it done? With religion, there is moral change. Religion is to come off of this moral adulteration, moral whoring that we should look at. And that is what I think my scope is going to be. Thank you very much. I'm very sorry. I took a little bit of the time.
Thank you so much. Isopan, please take 2 minutes and then I'll go over to Kwado.
Yeah, thank you. Like Kwado was saying, yes, when you look at African history, Africa have never dominated other tribes or forced their way of life on others. The same way with the religion practiced before the colonial era, that there were different gods in the African contents, which they served, and everybody believed in the God that they wanted to believe in, and worship that God without interfering with other people's way of religious practices. So we've always mind our own businesses, and that has always helped us, and has always been good for us. When you look at the other part of it, where they talk about Christianity and miracle working and curing sicknesses and curing COVID-19. If you look at the ways of God, it's not about miracle performance. He laid down his 10 commandments very plainly and simple. To treat other human beings the way you will want to be treated, to live a decent and humble life. His ways and preachings were very decent and humble and very simple. We humans manipulated what we can manipulate to suit our own selfish gains and desires and control. So people always take out of the verses of the Bible or the Quran to suit their evil agendas. God was not about miracle making. It was about saving souls for the kingdom. It was about preparing human beings. He said one of his commandments was about love your neighbor as you will love yourself. Which one of us can love a neighbor, a stranger, the way we love ourselves? These are the things that he demanded from us. To treat each other with kindness, with love, and with respect. To see ourselves, to see others the way we will see ourselves, which normally would create a peaceful, loving society. But we've turned religion into miracle making and money printing machine. This is the problem. People do not preach against crime as it is stated in the Bible or Quran. They preach about prosperity, about illness, about making it and succeeding in life. No, God's words were about peace. He said, peace be unto the peacemaker. He wanted us to live in peace and treat each other with respect. We should not forget that part. And we should be watchful of those who have hijacked the word religion and use it for their own selfish gains and purposes. And these are the people that we should look out and fish them out, these fake prophets that are these fake prophets of doom that are destroying our society. Thank you.
Okay, in 1 minute, let me point out what I want to say, and before then, let me thank Isopan and also Doctor for what they said. Doctor indicated that we are not looking at the validity of religion as in principle. I do sincerely agree with him, but the point I wanted to clarify is that immediately you start to say that the African society has a religion, that is a colonized status, and it is in itself is an indoctrination. It's a way that is to let the African know that, oh, we have a religion and now we have gotten a better religion. We never had a religion. That is a very typical lie. Now people have been, I heard like Dr. and Isopan made mention that the religion, they are not using the religion for what it's supposed to be for. In fact, in reality, religion from the word go has been the way it is. It has always been an exploitative tool. It has never changed. It is not a tool that today, it is today that people are using it to explore. If you go into the Bible, for instance, you will see where people went to kill people, murder. They murder people, women, children, they rape them, and they said, God has ordered us to do so. It is a colonizer's tool that it has always been used to exploit people. I don't think that a God in heaven who is so wise and sincere will ask people that go to the land, kill everybody, including women and children, innocent people. So religion has not changed. It is just a transformation. And if someone is doing it today, someone is using religion to exploit people, the person is really using religion for the rightfulness, what is supposed to be used. If you are using religion for something else, that is your problem. But religion in itself, it is supposed to be used to exploit, it's supposed to be used to kill, it's supposed to be used to do all the atrocities against humanity. That is what religion actually meant for. That is what religion is for. We can go into your religion and point them out, A, B, C, and point them out. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kwadwo. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we like to thank you for the time you are spending with us throughout this discussion. This is the People's Talk Show, part and parcel of the People's News Africa, a platform that seeks to discuss Africa's history, culture, pride, and our inheritance. It's a platform that seeks to discuss how we can move Africa, how we can advance Africa, and how we can contribute to the economic growth and development of Africa. So it is by no mistake that you have joined us. We just want to recognize our distinguished colleagues who are making their contribution through their text messages. I would like to begin by welcoming or by thanking David Tata Abo and Etta Gray, Bataki Ezienenta, and also Fanuel Shameno, Snotty Friday, and Nixon B. Malangu. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your messages. We highly appreciate it, and we want to thank you once again for all of your contribution and for following up the show. Today, we've been looking at the topic of religion as to whether or not it has contributed or is contributing to Africa's problems that we are currently going through. And to help us broaden this very important discussion, I have in studio Kwajo Eje Yebua, Dane Tuet, Isopan, Kabbalah, and Dr. Sadiq. My name is David Kafina Signetu, and I'm speaking to you from Liberia. Gentlemen, thank you. Once again, we will be looking at the second phase of the discussion. And I would like to begin by stressing a very important point that Africa's development in this 21st century has or will largely be shaped by religion. It is therefore important for any analysis or recommendation to take into account this particular fact. So, Kabbalah, what role can religion play in the social and economic development of Africa? Like if you begin by reviewing the entire structure of religious institution, we have already started seeing what religion has been doing. In its entirety, religion is not completely bad, right? We see schools, for example, and other basic learning institutions like university. But behind the aspect of education and other good things that have been done, there are other things going on. So what contribution or what is the role actually you think religion can play in the development of Africa? You're most welcome, my brother.
Well, thank you so much again for the question. Let me begin by saying that in order to understand what religion can do positively in terms of African development, let's look a bit just what has religion accomplished negatively in order to prevent the development of Africa. I mean, religion has done that obviously by the way that people have wrongly used it. You see, the first thing and the fundamental thing that religion has brought is to capture the mind of people and to make them suffer peacefully, and to make people content with their sufferings because they know that they have a place in heavens. And we, in that aspect, we don't mostly think critically to understand that if God did want us only in heaven, then what did He just create us in this on this earth? So, in terms of what religion can do in this 21st century in order to contribute to the African development, I think that religion can be a powerful tool for massive revolution, because that is even the message itself of the Bible. Firstly, let's see one thing. I've been reading the Bible, I've been reading the Quran, I've read a lot of books. So in reading the Bible, I've discovered that every time that God came to His people that are presented in the Bible as Israelites, He always sent His prophets to intervene to a particular situation that those people were going through. When He sent Moses, it was to liberate people from Egypt. When He sent, Joshua, it was to help them to get to their promised land. Every prophet that came in the name of the Lord has a mission to assist the people in a particular situation that we're going through. So today we have to ask a question as African people. What is the core of religion to our problem today? We know that we are suffering from the white supremacism we are going through difficulties that are born from the 400 years of slavery, and we are still going through the same problem. We have resources that we cannot use in Africa simply because we have people that are working behind the scene to prevent us from emerging from our difficulties. So what is the call of religion in the light of all these difficulties that we are having today? And every time that a pastor or a preacher comes and tell you that the only thing that you have to worry about is the kingdom of God in a paradise, and you have nothing to do on this earth to correct your sufferings and problems, that is a traitor. That is a traitor, and that is the same people that put our mind to sleep and help us to suffer peacefully. It's like you take black coffee that is strong and you pour some stream there, it becomes white. You know, it was strong and then it comes weak. It used to keep you up and then put you to sleep. That is what is happening now. And let me now say fundamentally what I mean by religion has to be a tool for revolution. You see, Jesus Christ, many people don't capture or grasp the fundamental element of his message. This is a man who came and he's telling people that it was spoken to you that you must do this, but I'm telling you that you must do this. In every message of Jesus, he's always saying something different from the mainstream. Whatever that was advertised for people to do in a certain way, he came and told them you must do in this way. That's a revolution. So today, if religion is really serving God, it must push people to work against the system, the structure that is creating the sufferings of the people today, and awaken people in order for people to take their responsibility and to build their cities, to build their lives, and to develop themselves. That's what I can say as a development that religion can bring to people. Thank you.
So, Kabbalah, just in 1 minute, what then can we do to begin re-enlightening the minds of people that have been kept bondage over the past as a result of religious indoctrination?
Well, exactly. You see, there's three institutions that can help in education of people. The first institution is the family. You are born in a family, you get your basic education in the family. But today, as we know, family is being destroyed. The responsibility of parents is being taken by the government. The government would punish you to beat your child, to spank your child, but they would put your child in jail when he misbehaves. So we are failing in the education of children. So the second institution was the school, the formal education that we receive in the school institution. Unfortunately, as well, schools are under the control of the global capitalists, and they teach us only what they want us to know in order to be productive to the capitalist institutions. So the third element that can, that can correct all the mistakes, that can bring back, African people on track is religion, is an institution of education. So the first thing that a religion can do is to begin now this intoxicate African people from the filth of Western European Eurocentrism ideas in order to bring now what is the fundamental element of being African people, being African people, and what is what is Afrocentrism, and what can we do as African people in order to emerge? That is not yet existing in religion. And secondly, it has to be it has to be on economic basis. You see, there are a lot of money that pastors are getting from churches. Why can't we have religious organization that have their own banking system, in order to serve people? Because you see today, Christians that are praying to the most powerful God, they're running to the banks that are owned by people that are not even Christian in order to get the loan, and sometimes they're not even being given those loans. Why can we, with all these funds that we get in every Sunday, in every church, why can't we link all our churches to put them under the same organization and collect the money and build institutions like banks and build companies and give people employment? The time like this time of pandemic where people are desperate, churches should be the lifesavers of people who are desperately needing food, needing jobs, and needing whatsoever. And that is not being done. That is not happening. And the church and all the pagans and all the Christians are being confined, are being put in lockdown by the people who are not even, are not even Christians. So that's a problem. So we have to begin by firstly teaching our youngest one, and secondly, we have to see how churches can organize themselves economically in order to bring jobs, in order to intervene in any times such as this one of emergency or a state of emergency or a humanitarian crisis. And thirdly, religion has to also organize themselves in terms of elections in order to obviously help people from being manipulated by politicians and giving them some directions that can obviously push them to obviously vote in a correct way and vote right people that are not puppets of the white supremacism.
Thank you so much, Kabbalah. Let me go quickly to Dr. Siddiq. Doctor, Western religion, Christianity, for example, its teaching and fundamental principles are often associated with segregation, discrimination against a particular gender, and stratification of the society in a way that question the doctrine and faith of Christianity. Other religions struggle, or they are strongly enrooted in conflict or various kinds of violence for some kind of perceived reward that await them in heaven. Okay, how do we maintain a kind of religious tolerance, freedom, equal rights when religion itself is being used as a tool to inspire exploitation, conflict, segregation across the world? Dr. Sidi.
I'm extremely sorry. I'm very sorry. Forgive me for that. Kabbalah, thank you very much. You articulated that topic in such a way that people who do not really have an understanding can pick exactly what you were saying, your line of thoughts, and they can easily do more justice to that. One thing that I kind of see, which to me is extremely very important, is that the state and the nature of our people is so deranged into the sense that they are so gullible. When you are dealing with gullible people who are more or less are victim of themselves, not victim of any pastor, imam, or any victim of any religious individual somewhere along the line, we can see the repercussion of what is happening here. We can see the repercussion of what is happening here. But one thing, again, before I go into the main topic, is that we need to understand what is religion. Religion is a belief. Don't go out of the scope and look at religion in another frame. Whether you look in any encyclopedia, in any book, religion, it is a form of a belief. Is the belief right? Is the belief wrong? Is the belief positive? Is the belief negative? It does not matter. It is a belief. But we are now looking at the scope, the extent of its usefulness to our state in Africa. And for the fact that Kabbalah has said a lot, but I'm just going to say a little more in addition into that. I stand on the premise to say religion is nothing bad when you are looking at it from the point of morality. Like Isopan has said, if the belief of our people is that treat the stranger or treat any person's right, it is a belief that it has to be like that. And when you treat people right, they treat you right. If you don't treat people right, they will not treat you right. But the idea is that religion itself, as I enumerated, has been taken out of the scope of what we believe in terms of treat your brother right. And when we are looking at it from the perspective of the induction from the Westerners, then it has actually compounded the issue that religion in its own self is a covert tool. Covert tool in the sense of what? Covert to blindfold you, enslave you, or retrace or kind of sideline you from your perception or from your belief. Religion has, to me, believing in whatsoever deity you want to believe in has nothing to do with what I believe in or what I know, but how has things come to impact us. Religion, with the way it has been practiced right now in this modern era in Africa, has done no good for no man. The way religion is being brought onto the table for our people has done no government no good. I said something here some time ago, and still about religion. I said, if you are given the Bible to swear, people swear by it. If you are given the Quran to swear, people swear by it. If you are given the oracle of your village to swear on, you see them running away. They don't want to do that. Why don't they want to do that? Because they believe in that. If you believe in that, then why are you now taking the Bible and swearing on the Bible? Because you know that probably that is not true. You know, it has never harmed anybody, so it's not going to harm you. So you can say it and go your own way. It still does not matter. So in a nutshell, the way religion is practiced because our people are gullible. Because our people are not educated enough to re-educate themselves. Every one of us, we are talking here today because of what we've done some studies. We've listened and we've looked at many of this religion when we are looking at both the Christianity and the Islam in Africa. When you look at those, because we've learned a lot about it. We've learned, even in our traditional folks' deity, they use all this, what they call juju, or what they call whatever it is, incantation, or whatever it is in religion, prospect, to bring people down, to kill people. I don't believe in it, so I don't know, but that's what I heard. So the Bible or the Christianity that we have today, if it actually meant something good, and I keep on saying it, it's not all what the Westerners introduced to us that are bad. And we need to have a clear understanding on that. It is not all these things that we see that is bad. But why can't we take what is positive? But that is man nature. You take what is going to work for you. Yes, the Europeans must have brought it to work for them, but you as an African, you took among it what you know is going to work for you. You embellish it to your own favor. And by what? You now put your people down. You take the education of that from them, and you fed them, and whatever they believe. I'll take us back to what they call the slave Bible. If any of you have ever heard about it before, there is a Bible we call the slave Bible. What is in the slave Bible? They remove actually everything, but they leave one very important point. What is the important point? Obey your masters. That is a very crucial, important point in the Bible. They call it the slave Bible. It's in one of the what's it called? I don't know. Probably is in the. I don't know where they kept it, but I've read it, locally on the Google. So the white man put himself as a god in the slave Bible. So when the slave man is praying, he's not really praying to God that he feels he's praying to. He's praying to the black man, to the white man, who is his God, for provisions and every other thing. So again, and I'm going to leave it this way. Religion has been taken out of the scope of what religion is meant to be. When it comes into moral ethics, religion doesn't play that role anymore. Many pastors today are full of nothing but, I don't want to use bad word here, but lies, deceptions, because of what they will eat, and because of the greed that is inherent in man. Get education, get knowledge yourself as a person. What Kwadu was saying is because of the knowledge he has gained. As he is talking, I can challenge him. He has something he believes in. Do you believe in the state that you live? Do you believe in your community? There's something every one of us here believe in. But in that belief, have a clear knowledge and clear understanding. Religion is good. The practice of religion on the line has taken us out of where we're supposed to be. Hence, religion is a curse on Africa right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me pick up a few words from Dr. Siddiq and go over to Kwajo and ask. He talked so much about belief and faith and all of that. Kwajo, if you look through the scriptures, the Bible, for instance, the basic fundamentals of the Bible emphasize things like you find things like segregation, discrimination against a particular gender. For example, women, where the Bible says a woman cannot become a deacon. That role is exclusively set aside for men, right? And as Dr. Siddiq also mentioned, as per the slave Bible, that you should submit to your master, even if the master is harsh and wicked, you should still submit to him, right? Looking at these kinds of setup in the Bible, do you perceive things like religious freedom, religious tolerance, equal rights, right? As the Bible does not believe in a particular gender occupying certain position. Most Bible frown at woman being a pastor, right? Will we see these kinds of equality in religious context, or is it something that cannot be achieved? Your mic is off, Kwaju.
Thank you very much, Kafina. Let me quickly point out that I want to say something quickly before to what the doctor has said, and then I will come to the issue of religious rights and how we can ensure religious rights. I think that Doctor made mention, one is that religion promotes morality, or religion has kept morality in our African society. I ask myself, why do we have to think like this? Because before religion came to Africa, we did not have police station because nobody was a thief. Before religion came to Africa, there was no orphanage, or there was not, because morality was kept in the very highest standard. If something has destroyed the morality within the African society, then it is religion. We cannot in any way indicate that religion promotes morality, where the evidence, the empirical evidence, point to something else. Secondly, he made mention that religion, our people accept religion or practice in the way because of lack of knowledge. That is an absolutely false. It is because religion was backed by gun and threat. Nobody in our society accepted religion because practice religion a certain way because they did not have knowledge. It was because people had to choose between accepting these forms of religion or have their lives destroyed. Religion was introduced with the back of gun, not because of lack of knowledge. And the way it is practiced, it is like a social segregation. Let us point one. Let's in this panel, they will look at you and say, okay, let's look. Dintwe is a good person. We can use Dintwe for our benefit. They will collect every good that any one of us is supposed to share and give 5% to Dintwe. So Dintwe will be looking good and we will be looking very poor and bad. So we can look at Dintwe and have to convert into the religion. So the reality is that religion has always been a threat and of gun. And that is why it has been to what it has been to our African society. Now, let me come to religious freedom and whatever. I think that when it comes to religious freedom, as you pointed, let me first go on to discrimination. The Bible itself, or the religion itself, from Islam to Christianity, none of them promote religious tolerance and equality. It is not there. But in reality, if we put it in principle, people should have right to practice their religion, whatever they believe in. And people should also have right and freedom to also criticize and also take people out of religion. If you have right to, your pastor has right to preach and bring people to religion. You know, if pastor is preaching, nobody, because he has religious freedom. If I am also speaking and I want to take people out of the religion, I should also, that religious freedom should also cover me. You understand? So religious freedom should look at the freedom to practice your religion, the freedom to do everything, the freedom that I can also criticize and also take people out of it without you saying I'm being blasphemous. You understand? So I think that we have to look at this thing from different angles. And if we are able to do like that, we will be able to understand and get our people educated. The reality, what I want to point out is that we do not have to pamper religion. You do not have to treat religion with soft growth. We do not have to protect religion in any way. We need to point it the way the force that it came to hit our society, we also need to have the same force to hit it back. Because if you don't hit people and you don't expect them to hit you back, in my society, kings were destood because they refused that their culture is not going to be adulterated by religion. And today, if I have right, don't you think I have to defend my culture and my tradition? I need to have that right. So let me leave it like that, Kafina.
Thank you so much. I'll go over quickly to Dean Tweed. Dean Tweed, like all of us have been saying, talking about religion, politics, economic, and destroying our culture and practices and spirituality and all of that. In a broader context, do you think it's possible to divorce religion from economics and politics and maintain the actual existence of religion?
Thank you, Kafina. So what I would like to say is people colonize people. Gods or deities don't colonize people. Being sold in Africa, it's some third party or a person in the sky who will do for salvation. Salvation, we should be looking from within ourselves. For instance, currently, our people are being killed in America. They are not killed by the gods of light, being killed by our thing. I don't want to say our religion. Our ways of life has always been knowledge. We have always venerated knowledge as something that we aspire to be knowledgeable about ourselves and nature around us. Make a way back to ourselves. Kabbalah pointed out that if our gods were strong, how did the other gods took over us? The answer is simple. There are no gods. It all depends on us. If you make people unconscious, if you put people to sleep, you will control them. So it's all about us waking up and taking charge of our lives. Now, coming back to your point, business and religion, what do they have in common? They are politics. What is politics? Politics is forcing people or convincing people to follow you. It applies to business and religion. Religion, it makes people to follow it. Business, it makes people to follow it. So you can't have business and religion without politics. What people don't understand is that religion is a big political tool, same way as business. So we need to find our knowledge of self. Then we can change our situations around us. People say if African religious or spirituality was that powerful, how come slavery took over? It's all about us. Once we realize who we are, then we can prevent all these things to happen to us. We need to take charge of ourselves and stop expecting manna from heaven. Our education system, it is heavily based on religion. Why do I say so? Today, we have professors, we have doctors, even scientists who are still under the spell of religion. So it means our education, it doesn't provide enough liberty to free ourselves from the mental slaves. If for us we have to move forward, we need to overhaul our education system. We need to make sure that our education system, it leads us to ourselves. It mustn't lead us to a certain God or certain deity. Education, it must promote you, it must promote me. Education must empower me. It mustn't tell me that for me to be empowered, I need to pray or do something else to certain somebody. No. Our economic emancipation, it relies heavily on ourselves. All we want, we can have night vigils all we want, but until we wake ourselves up, nothing will ever be right. I hear the member of the panels are getting technical trying to explain religion. We know what context we are talking under. A religion was imposed on us ourselves from us. We don't need to beat around the bushes and try to be technical because it's just a waste of time. There's only one explanation for religion. Is to abandon your way of life and take my way of life. That's all. And I'm not here to say abandon Christianity or abandon Islam and follow this. No. Follow yourself. Go back to yourself. That should be your religion. Yourself. Nothing else. I don't know if that's not liberating. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Isopan, quickly, but before I go to you, Isopan, let me recognize Ikena, who has just joined the discussion. Ikena, you are most welcome, and I will throw the last question to you because we are almost out of time. But before I do that, let me go quickly to Isopan. Dean Tweed has started talking about how we can use education to enlighten our people. And given the fact that we are already aware of the as you say, the neglectful contribution of religion on one hand, even though it has had a very meaningful contribution on the other hand, how do we go about, what kind of message do we teach in our school? How do we go about telling people how religion has colonized, has contributed to the colonization of Africa, has contributed to the exploitation of Africa? We should do this one. What exactly, how do we go about enlightening our people who have held onto these very strong religious practices over the years?
First and foremost, there is a certain level of spirituality in our lives. We are all aware of that. We cannot deny the existence of spirituality. We've seen it played out several times. And religion of today is very important in our life. It has created a certain stability also in our lives. It's been manipulated and it's been used, like I said earlier on in my earlier comments, that every power corrupts. There are people who want to use it for good, and there are those who use it for evil. This is the problem that we have with religion. Religion, if you read the Bible or the Quran, or if you study Buddhism and so forth, you will notice they all have one thing in common: peace between men. But we, the men, have manipulated it to suit our own personal agendas. This is the problem. And if the people are educated enough, as you said, Kabina, as you asked, if they are educated enough, they will be able to read the Bible, the Quran, or study Buddhism and be able to understand it and draw their own conclusion out of it. If there is no religion in our lives, what are we? Machines going to work, buy food, eat, clothe ourselves? No, religion is very important in our lives. It brings us closer together, and it should be used for that which it was meant for, peace between men. And we should be able to point at those in the society who are using religion to conquer and divide and control. These are the people that we should go after. Those who are using it for evil purposes. We cannot deny the existence of religion and the big role which it plays. I said before, is the most powerful tool on earth. And for that, it should be used wisely and carefully. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Isopan. Ikena being the last person to join, I would just like to give you a few minutes, Ikena, even though we are out of time. So I will give you up to 4 minutes to see if you can add up your voice to the discussion. Ikena, you realize the enormity of corruption in Africa, in the African society, in the midst of intense religious belief and practices, and all of these raise questions about the kind of Christians, the kind of Islamic and or if we say African traditional morality that exists in the predominantly religious content or continent like Africa, right? What are the consequences of this form of religion, for example, looking at all of these practices? Most of the people we have today who are pastors, some of them are ministers in government, they are the ones that are corrupting, they are the ones that are taking bribe and other malpractices. How can we characterize religion in its essence? You are most welcome, my brother.
Thank you so much, Kafina, for this last minute to speak. And I also want to thank my panelists for taking time to discuss on this so much important topic. In the aspect of religion and the government or the African society, religion has its own role it plays positively in the sense that it has brought the people together. Religion has really put the people together, even if it also has a part that really some people frown at. But religion has done greater good in the African society. Let's look at how religion became a problem in Africa. That is what we should be looking at, where it all started from. It all started the moment when the civil organization in the African state became dishonest to their people. Africa is not the only place where we have religion being practiced. The Abrahamic models, which is the religion we are talking about, the Christian, the Islam, and Buddhism, and Judaism. These all things are practiced in other places of the world. And there is progress even where they are being practiced. In Israel today, they practice Judaism, but they are doing very fine economically, politically, and otherwise. They have a stable society. But why is it a problem in Africa? That is what we should be looking at. Is it religion that is the problem? Or how it is being practiced that is the problem? Religion to me is not the problem. But the way it is being practiced is what is the problem. The government failed categorically in their responsibility as a civil authority. That was where the people needed something to hang on to. As a human, don't forget, human will always need something to hang on to. Human will always need something to believe in. Human will always need something to hang their trust, their belief, their hope in. Since the civil organization, authority in the society failed to give them that trust, failed to give them that hope, that was where religion came to give them hope. Religion came and told them, calm down, all is well. Calm down in 2 months' time, you will get better. Engage in fasting and prayer, you will get better. That is where the Bible became a Bible tool in the society of Africa today. If you look at the offspring of the prosperity gospel in Africa, it started all in the early 90s. But religion has been there. Most of these churches have been there even before that time. But they've been operating in a solo manner. They've been operating, preaching salvation. If you look at the time of Bishop Idahosa of blessed memory, these people, they were really preaching the gospel of salvation, preaching how to live a good life, preaching salvation, preaching the real thing that the Bible, which the missionary brought to us. But after we entered into a multi-party system of politics in Africa, that was where the whole thing stopped. And our government began to play politics with the life of everybody. Our government began to play politics with the life of the citizens. And in that manner, the social contract between the people and the government was broken. And the people lost trust and hope in the government. So the people have to turn up to something, and that is religion. So we in Africa, even before the Christianity as a religion came in, we have what we were believing in Africa. We had it. Different culture. Culture is also part of a religion if we don't understand something. The question we should ask ourselves, what is religion? What is religion? Religion is like devotion. It's like a devote, a pause, a dedication to something. That is religion. So if you are dedicated to this cup and say, this cup, I believe it has strength, it's a religion to you. So in Africa, we had religion. We believed in something. We had deity in different forms that we believed in. Even if the white man came and they brought a different deity to us, which is the monotheistic deity, they believe in one God, that there's a one God, then that is where this whole thing came in. So we had what we believed in. But when the white man brought theirs to us, and they told us theirs was good, which was all part of a tool to cajole us and put us somewhere, and we accepted it and neglected us, that is where the problem came. And our government were unable to help us. Because if our government were able to provide social amenities for the people, to provide the basic needs for the people, I see no reason why a sick man who needs medical attention will go to a prayer house and sleep there for 31 days to be healed. It's all scam. I'm sorry to say this. I'm not supposed to bring this on air. But a few weeks ago, my younger sister was severely sick. She was pregnant and she was severely sick. She was taken to the hospital and nothing was done because she was pregnant, and they did all the tests possible they couldn't. My family was almost giving up, and they had no, like, let's take her to the church. They took her to the prayer center, and lo and behold, my sister was being given up. From what my mom told me, there's a bottle of water. It's like 1 liter of Coke that she was being given to, and that bottle of water was sold for 45,000 naira, and she takes 2 of that bottle every week. So she paid close to almost 100,000 naira every week for that bottle of water. So if she stays there for 1 month, she's paying 400,000 naira for that bottle of water. What happened at last? She was still taken back to the hospital. They had to operate the baby. At the end of the day, the baby died. The baby didn't make it. I'm sorry, it's not something I'm supposed to share online, but I am telling you now. Okay, what has happened to what the pastor has been doing? The water, did the pastor refund all the money he has taken for that water? So these are some of the things that has happened because we have bad healthcare system. We have a bad government. So the people no longer trust in the government. And the churches have come in a manner, have provided a way to see that they are able to cajole the people and put the people in a particular cage. So the people have to turn to the churches. So religion hasn't done much good, neither has it done much bad for us in Africa. It has a better part, it also has its own bad part, which is how we, the people, perceive religion to be. Thank you. I'll end it here.
So much, Ikenna. You know, Ikenna brought another question to my mind that as we are concluding the show, I would just like to throw it up to the panel. Any of you who might want to answer the question can begin by looking at the question. You see, the question now arises as to whether Africa religion or the relations in Africa give impetus to poverty and corruption on the continent, or whether religion has a crucial role to play in the liberation of African society from poverty and corruption. If Christianity, Islam, tradition, relations are the norms, how then should like this remarkable rise in instances of corruption, looting, public treasury, electoral malpractices, courtesan bribery, armed robbery, kidnapping, and other forms of criminal activity are so many in our African society? How do we explain these things? Where are the values? Where are the norms? Where are the biblical principles that have been laid down? These people who are doing these things are the pastors, they are the imam, they are the evangelists, they are the bishops, they are quote unquote the pope. So how can we explain this? This is just one of the summations that we can address briefly as we give our parting comments, if we will, and if we want to look at it. So we will just use 30 seconds, gentlemen, because we don't have time anymore, beginning with Dr. Sidi. 30 seconds, please.
Thank you very much, panel. It's very difficult when you say 30 seconds, but I'll be disciplined enough just to say something. What I reiterated is the same thing that Mr. Ekene has come in and reiterated. It's not about religion, it's about the people. When you park your car in front of your house and you don't touch it, it's very difficult for the car to drive itself to go and get involved in an accident. It takes a man to drive it to have an accident or to drive it back home safely. You have the choice. Unfortunately, because of the inherent nature of a man, the greed that we talked about, religion hasn't stand in a position where it's of positive value to us. Before we came in, and I've said it several times here, we all have religion. Religion is a belief. We all have what we believe in. Religion is not just Christian or Islam. Religion is just not Christian or Islam. It's what we believe in. And what do you believe in? You believe that if I do it this way, something is going to happen this way, something is going to happen that way. I taught my kids, whatever you think is what you attract. If you think evil, you attract evil. If you think good, you attract good. So let your heart be plain. Mr. Isopan said it here, love your neighbor. It's a moral concept of what our perception, our belief is supposed to be. I won't stand there and tell you I'm a Christian. I won't stand there and tell you I'm an Islamic, or what do you call it? I have what I believe. I believe in Almighty God. So these, until we change our perception, we change the way we look at it, then we will understand we are not talking about Christianity. We're not talking about Islamic injunctions or whatever it is. But unfortunately, those are the things that we took. And let us remember that religion was not forced on us. Religion came all the way from North Africa, crept into our society. Forget about what happened in Rome when the Bible was not allowed to be read or Christianity allowed to be propaganda. The propaganda of that was allowed. Nobody forced Africa on religion. It came in. Nobody carried a gun to say this. The issue is the fact that if it has to do with moral, like I look at it, why do we go so low to now call the same God that we think is going to give us good morality, or through what scope or through lens we manage our lives, to now start being what? Mischievous. So religion in South Africa is multifaceted, and it has been a major influence on art, culture, and philosophy. So today, the continent, various populations and individuals are mostly here, like I said, Christian, Islam, and later extend to several other traditional African religions. We should understand who we are. We should understand what we believe and how we can use it to impact our society. In summation, Christianity and Islam has not proved what it's supposed to be in Africa. Because what they are is not what they're supposed to be, but how people has manipulated it, how people has used it to be. When I say salam alaikum, I'm wishing you, I said peace be unto you. That is what it says. But is that what is in my intention when I come to your house? Do I bring salam alaikum into your house? Probably no. It's the practice. The practice has not gone well because we have deceptions too much all over the place, and our people are too gullible. I'm so sorry to say that. Our people are just extremely gullible. We need to educate, like Kabbalah said. We need to bring education back into this. Learn, understand it yourself, understand what the Quran, what the Bible, or what the religion, or what you believe says, and work with that. Don't listen, don't allow somebody to interpret what you do not know to you. Be a scholar and be able to study on your own, and you will have an understanding of what we're talking about. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly just jump in because of time because we need to save some time. Thank you, Mr. Sadiq, for your explanation. What I want to talk about in religion is that what Kafina asked, why is there so much crime in our society, whereas we are so much believers? The reason why in today's society, and the things that I want Christians or Muslims to look at when they are in the church or in the mosque doing their religious practices, is why is the pastor so focused on two things: killing the enemy, killing your enemy, and getting riches? This is the reason why we have so much crimes in our society. They do not preach the words of Allah or the words of our Lord Jesus, which talk about love, peace, and preaches against sin and immorality. But what they do preach about is about, oh, your enemy who is holding you down from prosperity, he needs to die. You want to kill everybody. And then you need to be rich. You are going to be rich. Fast and pray only for riches. Fast and pray only to kill your enemies. These are what the pastors, because they know these are the plight of the people, so they are manipulating it and using it to control the people. This is why, Kafina, there is so much crime in our society, because the pastors are not preaching about love, unity, and against sin, as it is written in the Bible. They are only preaching about prosperity and killing of your enemies, who is responsible for you not prospering, because Africans have become focused only on material wealth. This is our problem. Thank you.
Let me also come in quickly to say my parting comment and then be able to save time. Thank you very much. To this end, I would want to say that the best antidote to religion is common sense, and that is what everybody is afraid of. When it comes to religion, common sense will always defeat religion. Now, let me point it out. When Ikena was speaking, he said that Africa is not the only place where religion is practiced, and some people have practiced religion and they have done so well. Yes, it is true. Let me put it in context of common sense, like weed or cocaine, drug. If I sell drug, I'll do well. But if you're a consumer of drug, you will not be able to do well. Religion is the drug. Those countries like Saudi Arabia or Israel are the people who are selling the drugs. Every year, millions of dollars, at billions to the extent, are transferred from Africa to Saudi Arabia in a way to go and see Allah. That is the drug they are selling to you, and you cannot do well with the drug. So if you really want to understand the reason why we are not doing well, but they are doing well with religion, they have the tool and they are using the tool to manipulate you. You can never do well with the tool. Finally, I would want to say that, as I have begun, you cannot take the alien religion that to you see African traditions as religion, and you take that traditional alien religion and you still consider your African value as valid. That is the reason why the African need to do away with this religion, because it is not good for us. It will deprive us of our Africanism, and we will not be anybody than the slave to those people. Thank you very much.
All right, let me give my parting statement before I hand over the mic to Mr. Dintwich. First and foremost, I want to make us understand something. It's like when we talk about religion, we only see Christianity as the only religion. And because it's majorly practiced in the world, so we see the reason to slam Christianity and give it a slap on the cheek, on the head, and on the back. But I want to make us understand something. The three most popular religion in the world today: the Judaism, the Christianity, and Islam. Islam practices peace. Christianity practices love. while Judaism practices education, justice, obedience, and the God as well. Now, in the African context, why is it that we always have a much problem when it comes to religion? The reason I see is because most of the custodian of this religion, instead of creating or instead of educating the people to be passionate for a Christ-like life, they are rather preaching and encourage the people to be passionate of religion. So we have passion for religion rather than passion for Christ-like. And the question is, who is a religious person? A religious person is one who is devoted, who manifests devotion in going to church 3 times a day, in praying and fasting 5 times a week, in undergoing praying and fasting when they are sick. These are the things that that our custodian of the religion has done to the African society, that has made us as human to neglect some of the things we are supposed to do. I don't know where a place where religion has asked you not to hold your civil authority accountable for negligence or for accountability or for proper representation. This aspect has never been looked into. And because, like I said in my earlier statement, the people now are already frustrated. It is a fact. The moment the government of the society start to live up to their responsibility, there will be little connection between the people and these religious centers. I'm telling you, there will be little distance. Look at the people who brought this religion to us. England, what is happening there? There are even more nightclubs than churches over there. So what we need to look at is our government and not religion. The people voluntarily went there to give their trust, their hope, and their everything to it. And I'm telling you the fact, the moment our government sit up, because we have corrupt government in our African society, that is why the people are so bent towards this religious center. But the moment our government sit up, check most of our people who travels abroad. How many of them goes to church? At least a lot of our viewers are watching me. How many of them goes to church? Few of them, but they make it and they succeed. Without even prayer and fasting, without burning candles, without even paying anything. They make it and they succeed. They come back home and they build mansions. Why can't you do that in Africa? If you're in Africa, you don't go to church 3 times a week, they see you as something else. When you're not progressing, they say you are not doing well in your church. I will drop my pen at this moment. Thank you so much. Dinto, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to say this. People generally don't want to discuss things that resonate with them. But unfortunately, it has to be done for our own betterment. When colonizers arrived with their Bible, they didn't find us with no morals. So the saying that saying religion gave us morals is wrong. We used to know right from wrong. We used to know not to kill. We used to know not to hurt others. We used to know when you borrowed money from someone, give it back. We people are born with balance. We are born with sadness and happiness. We are born knowing right or good. Those things, they are divine. We are born with them. We didn't need a cloak telling us how to behave. We knew how to behave. So religion has nothing to do with morality. In fact, it has made morality to be something that is looked down upon. People will kill someone, they will say, the devil made me do it. What is the devil? The devil is the concept of religion. Why God, in his right mind, would create something that he can wrestle with through the entire life? How many churches are fighting the devil? Every church is fighting the devil. What is the devil's denomination? Is the devil Islam? Is the devil Christian? Why can't, if they're so mighty, just kill the devil and you can all be free? Thank you very much.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your brilliant contribution, each of you. We highly appreciate the time that you have taken to discuss this very critical and sensitive topic. And my fellow Africans home and abroad, we just want to thank you once again for the time that you have spent to watch this discussion, and your contributions that you made were very very insightful, and we want to thank you for that. We highly appreciate it. This is how we would like to bring the show to an end. We've been looking at the topic of religion, trying to assess how it has contributed either to Africa's development positively or negatively. And our distinguished panels have been giving their views as to how they understand the role of religion in Africa and how it has contributed to Africa's growth and development. And a wide range of issues were discussed, and we want to thank every one of you who have made the discussion very successful. We just like to recognize few guys who have been sending in their comments and their contribution. David Tetet Abu, Eton Gray, Bakaki Ezanata, Fennel Shimando, Snotty Friday, Dixon B. Malangu, and Ja Mende. Equally so, we had Moses Makode and Abeno Chabi, Brian Aze, Brenda Mishi, Balami, and Kamed Ibrahim, Gavin Jamin, and Nana Osi. Gentlemen and ladies, thank you so much. You have made the show very successful. However, they said every good thing must have an end. So we would like to stop it here. Discussing this very important topic, I've had the time to sit in studio with my distinguished colleague, Kwadwo Eje Yeboah from Ghana, and is based in Germany. Isopan from Nigeria is also based in Germany. Dr. Joseph Sadiq is from Nigeria and is based in the US. Ikena from Nigeria, but is based in Cyprus. Dintwit from South Africa. And we also had with us Kabbalah from DR Congo, who is currently based in South Africa. My name is David Kafina Segnentu, and I've been speaking to you from Liberia. We want to thank you. And the next time we will come your way again will be on Monday, where we will have an opportunity to discuss a very brand new topic that we are very optimistic will resonate with each and every one of you. Have a good night and all the best. Bye-bye.